Yeah.
Welcome to this week's episode of Slow Love Unravelled. I'm Isabel and this is
Abby.
Holly's on holiday. So we are doing the pod sans Holly. She is actually also in France, so a little bit of French there for you. We thought it'd be really interesting to talk to you about working for an emerging brand. So lots of our pods obviously are about the brand and Holly from like a founder's perspective. But yeah, so we're going to talk about it from our side, which is all good stuff. So I'm going to talk about it from kind of as a mum and kind of personality traits, which I think have helped me be able to fit in to working for an emerging brand. And Abby's going to talk a bit about, she has her own business and working for an emerging brand, but also when you're trying to grow and run your own business. So I think we are both really heavy in agreement that working for a female founder is actually, have you worked for any? I mean, this is, by the way, before we go any further, I'm not about to man bash, but
I am.
Oh, have you worked for a male founder before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have, before I worked for Holly, I was working for a property developer. And actually, I feel like I was quite lucky that our relationship was really, he was also very flexible. I think it helped that we had actually just had children at the same time. So I think had that not happened, had the children thing not happened, I think it would have been really different. But we are both in agreement that working for a female founder is, as females, is great. Holly is and Slow Love as a brand and a business it's really flexible. It's very realistic. But that flexibility and kind of realistic outlook on the business and how it's run does work both ways. So Holly's really flexible with us, but we're also very flexible. And I think that kind of ties really well into personality traits, which are kind of imperative for working for an emerging brand. Is you as a person have to be pretty flexible and you have to be really comfortable with change and bending in the wind and stuff like turning on a pinhead.
Yeah, definitely. I always see people like other freelancers or like social media managers and stuff preaching how you should have boundaries with your clients, which you should.
Yeah.
Obviously, I totally agree. But there's also an element where you need to be flexible and need to reply to them, even if it's past 5 o'clock or a weekend or something. Obviously, there's times where I might receive an email and I'll be like, do you know what, that can wait till Monday. But then there's other times where something might have gone wrong or something might have happened or they need a quick answer and you just need to reply.
Yeah. And I think it's just that sometimes I know Holly wouldn't, I'm pretty sure I can say that she ultimately would never officially turn off. I think if you've got your own business, there is never that there's always something going on. And I know that Holly's actually on holiday at the moment and she messaged me last night going, when's this coming in again? Because I know that she's looking at DMs on Instagram and she wants to get back to people. So it's just, I could be like, it's 6 o'clock and I'm like feeding my kids, but she's thinking about that right now. And that little bit of knowledge is out literally in my head and on the tip of my tongue. It takes me 2 minutes to reply to her. So that, and she can then, carry on doing what she's doing. And it's that kind of, that flexibility has to work both ways.
Yeah. But I also think it comes with being nice, being having a good relationship with one another, that you want to 100%. Reply as well.
Oh, absolutely. That is such a key thing. If you being flexible and we're, everybody in the team is super flexible and, people are constantly messaging and being like, I want a job. And I know we've spoken about this so much on the pod before. the reason why that works is because everybody is like super happy and willing to just be flexible.
Yeah. Like, for example, last Black Friday, all of us just packed.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something where we were flexible because I remember talking as we were leading up to it, we were like,
how are we going to do this?
Yeah, how can we do this? How can we get all of the orders out in time? And I was like, I'll pack.
Yeah.
I'll come in. I think we all came in on the weekend. We all packed on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We had a little rota, didn't we? A weekend rota where everyone just...
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you're not necessarily working for, like, an emerging brand, you'd be like, I'm not packing. I do the marketing, so I'm not doing that. So, like, we just do...
muck in.
Yeah.
But it's also... fun.
Yeah, it was great.
We always have quite a good time doing stuff like that, and there is an element of, that's probably why the team does gel so well, because we're all of that personality trait. And I think I was going to go on to talk about personality traits and kind of what has stood us all in quite good stead to be really kind of happy and thriving working for an emerging brand. Is I've actually been self-employed for, I think I first became self-employed in 2016, so like anybody who out there who's self-employed knows that if you're not flexible and you're not willing to muck in and you're not happy with change, then probably being self-employed isn't for you, because if you want to make money and you want to be successful, you have to be all of those things, and you have to be constantly looking for like, where's my next client coming from? Yeah. How can I adapt to be, appealing to that brand or whatever to then. So I think all of that time, I can imagine it being really difficult for somebody, just like, so for example, my husband James has just lost his job working for a really big corporate. I can, if you've come from a really rigid corporate environment straight into an emerging brand, I can imagine that being a really hard transition, unless you are inherently quite a relaxed person. So I think like if you are an emerging brand, there's some of the key personality traits I think you need to look for when you're hiring, is that kind of willingness to just muck in, and happy to be flexible. I mean, I have children, Shah has children, and we've both got children of their age. I've got my little boy's at primary school and my daughter is at nursery. So there's like, Artie's covered at certain times of the day. Elodie isn't. I'm also very lucky that I've got an incredible support network, but that's kind of all been put in place around my work. And I've always been very open with anybody I've worked for to say, this is what I can offer you, but this is my situation, and it's been very clear from the start. But then also that kind of building that trust with your, the employer of an emerging brand is like, if I don't get my job done between 9 and 5 because my child's sick, you can trust me that I'll get it done in this time.
Yeah. There's been so many times as well when Isabel is off on a Monday because you have Elodie. Yeah. And Holly's like, oh, I just need to ask Isabel this question, so I'll just quickly call her. And you always answer. So, like, obviously there's times where you might be
in a swimming lesson.
Yeah. But you'll ring back within an hour or something. Yeah. Like, you're always going to respond. Yeah. So I think that is really key to making things work. And it's the same with me. Like, if I'm on a shoot with a different client that day, I might not be able to pick up the phone and speak to you on the phone, but I'll quickly send you a text while I'm in between shots or something. So you get the answer straight away.
What's it like juggling multiple, like, young, like, fresh, not young as in like age young, but as in young emerging brands?
There's definitely there's difficult elements where you do have, I'm constantly responding to people or things like, I work at Slow Love 3 days a week, so I'll get up early in the morning before I come here. I deal with those clients before I come here, and then also after. So I do have...
Actually, you said on the phone last night, we were talking about food shopping. And Abby was like, I actually can't go food shopping now because I've got like an hour and a half of client work to do before I get back. Which is such a bizarre... I mean, it's...
Yeah, so it's like, it is a bit like having
multiple babies.
Yeah, like kids or something, because there's times in the evenings where I'm like, I need to get this done so I can send it to my client for tomorrow or something.
I actually remember being on the content trip in France, and Abby and I shared a room, and I woke up and Abby was already sat up in bed on her laptop. It was like 6 a.m. because you were working with your client that you had at the time in the US.
Yeah, so I was discussing with them because it was like better times for them and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I have a client at the moment that is based in Bali, so I'm our like best time to communicate is early AM for us, which actually works really well for me because I can have a call with her before I come here. So yeah, there's like things like that which sometimes...
What's boss, Betty Babbo?
Oh, thanks, mate.
Abby.
Where sometimes like that can be tricky, but it works. I'm flexible enough that I'll get up in the morning and I'll make sure that's all done. Otherwise, like if I was a type of person where I was like, oh, I just want to lie in bed, like that's fine, but then all of that goes out of or in the evenings where I'm like, I just want to go and hang out with my friends, or I want to do this, I'm like, no, I have to get this done, so that has to happen, and that's the choice I've made. So if I am doing something in the evening, I'll just get up really early so I have time in the morning. But the other thing which we spoke about earlier that I really love and has made such a difference to me as like a business owner and also my clients is I learn so much different things with different clients. So, for example, like I have some clients that work on TikTok Shop, and like Holly's mentioned it before to me for Slow Love, and I've been a bit like, yeah, it's okay, but for the price point of our products, it's not really something we need to focus on. Let's put that money elsewhere.
That insight is really valuable.
Yeah, so it's really good. So like that knowledge of like, I know how the TikTok Shop works. I know how TikTok Live and all of that works from working with other people. So I haven't had to implement it here or like learn it here. The same with the podcast. I've learned how to do a podcast here. So if I wanted to, if somebody asked me elsewhere, I could offer that knowledge. So
that is actually such a good example of finding a personality trait that is just a go-getter for an emerging brand, which is Abby was like, well, whose idea was the pod? Yours or Holly's? Or a blend?
We were talking, Holly was like, me and Holly have always spoken about getting her on Grace Beverly's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
A little hint there.
If you're listening, Grace.
Yeah, not that you are, but, you know. We
can dream.
Yeah, we've always spoken about Holly being like on a podcast or that kind of thing. So then we spoke about, Holly was like, I'd really like to do our own podcast, and I was like, yeah, that's such a shout. Yeah. So she was just like, basically one day she was like, can you organise us having a podcast? And I was like, okay.
Yeah. So
I just went on Spotify, made an account. I remember we filmed the first one. She was like, do you need to like make an account on Spotify? I was like, I've already done it.
But then I remember you editing the first podcast and it took you like hours.
Long. But no, it was because we filmed 3.
Oh, yeah.
So we filmed 3 in in a week or something, because I was like, we need to drop it with a couple so people aren't just left hanging. They want to like keep learning, and then we can do one every week. So we did that, and we'd filmed it, and I was like, right, I've got these 3 to edit, but I also had everything else to do in that week. So editing 3 podcasts and like getting them all uploaded, because on the Wi-Fi as well, they do take some time to upload. So yeah, I was racing to get them all edited. That was rough, but we got there in the end.
But that's why I all like the exciting. I think later on, we're going to finish the pod with kind of like the highlights of working for an emerging brand, and that is kind of one of them. Is you learn so much, and that's kind of being part of an emerging, growing brand is actually, if you have that personality trait where you have like a hunger to learn, it's a really exciting place to be. Like growing with a brand is so cool.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, even like the emails. I had never written like an email for a client before, but I remember saying to Holly, like, we need to do email marketing, like that's the next thing when we've been doing all the social media, and I was like, I'll do it. it's fine. I'll just go on YouTube and learn how to use Klaviyo, and there we go. And now we obviously like it, we wouldn't be without it.
Yeah.
And then like little things like we're doing early access for our summer sale this month, which is because we want to grow our email list, and there's just so many little things that we've learned along the way.
Yeah. I think this a really important thing to mention now is I think one of the key things to have when you're working in a small team and you are all wearing loads of hats is Holly as a brand owner is really transparent and really honest with us as her team. But that also works the other way. Like, we are all very good at being like, I am super out of my depth here. And there have been some really key turning points in the growth of the business where we've gone, I actually can't do that, and now we need to invest in an expert for that, or I need, a couple of hours with an expert for them to teach me. Mm-hmm. So it's not all like, this isn't me and Abby blowing smoke up our own bums for an hour being like, we're so amazing at X, Y, and Z. But there have definitely been times where it's like, I'm actually working on a project at the moment where we are doing exactly that. We're in a little area of growth. We need to do something properly to be able to future-proof the business for the next number of years. And I've gone, I'm not comfortable doing that. We need to, put a bit of money aside, or, pump a bit of money into an expert for that. But I really want to do that with the expert to learn, to make sure that the next time we do that, we do have the knowledge in the team to be able to do it. So it's not just, you're not just throwing money at a situation every single time. Yeah. The website was a really good example of that. You building the website, and there were some elements at the end where it was like, oh God, I thought this was going to work that way and it didn't. Like so it was
the sizing page.
Yeah, all of that was just, we needed some external help to make the things at the end. But that's how you learn, and I think that Holly at the top, that personality trait definitely does filter down, which is, I'll tell Holly's so good at being like, I'm really, really shit at that. I can't do it. So we need to either look in the team. Can any of you do it? No. Then let's pay someone to do it. And that's a great, filter down.
Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, when you just said that you paid someone to help, but then you learnt from it. It's if something went wrong with that piece of software, you know how to then sort it. We don't have to then go through someone and then to get them to sort it. Another example of flexibility is we had a drop one evening, and me and Isabel were at the pub.
Oh yeah.
So we had quite a few wines and something. Looked at my phone and I was like, why has there been no sales? And then I looked and nobody could order at all. I think only the US could order.
Yeah, we had made a mistake with the shipping setup.
I'd made a mistake with the shipping setup.
I wasn't going to say, but
yeah, I made a mistake with the shipping setup. So then we worked it out, and
Holly was where was Holly going on holiday?
Holly was going to Devon or something. She was driving.
She was in the car. She had rubbish signal, and she was like, "Can somebody please respond?" Yeah. You ran to the toilet so you could have some peace and quiet in this pub, and then I ran out into the pub garden, and we were I was on the phone to Shah, being like, "Can you do this from your laptop?" Because our Wi-Fi was rubbish or something. It was.
But we sorted it out. But that's an example of where something went wrong. Holly didn't kick off at us because something went wrong, and we just sorted it out. We were a couple of wines down, but we just sorted it out anyway. So that's an example of being flexible as well.
Crumbs.
Oh, that was not funny, but that was stressful.
But it was good. I don't know about you, but I actually find that kind of stuff, sometimes the problems are really exciting. Holly will be brilliant, but I love that. I really
fixing a problem.
Sometimes getting into the nitty gritty of stuff is quite fun. That challenge of facing a problem is quite.
Yeah.
That's, you're always going to gain something from it. Mm-hmm. You're always going to learn, and you're always going to improve your knowledge base. And sometimes you need problems are the best things that can happen for your business for growth.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a great, if you like it, you know, again, another personality trait, problem solver.
Yeah.
Is a good one.
You're a very good problem solver.
I do love a problem.
Yeah, you do.
They sometimes make me like,
yeah.
I think everybody, especially females, I think I wonder what the stats are actually with like imposter syndrome in males versus females, like who is attacked by it more. I bet you, I can imagine it's probably females.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Do you reckon?
Yeah. I still sometimes I'm like, oh,
she's going to discover that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm always like, am I really that good at marketing? Like, literally, sometimes I'm like, really, am I? And then I'm like, actually, yeah, you do know what you're talking about. But,
yeah,
like, because I'd never had any, like school, what's the word? Education in marketing. So sometimes I do panic. But, I mean, look where we are.
We're doing something right, aren't we, Abby?
Yeah, we're doing something right.
Are we doing it right? Are we doing it right, Ollie? Also, I think something that's really interesting is we both started at Slow Love like a day a week or 2 days a week. And we've both, you know, I'm pretty much full-time now. You're 3 days a week.
Yeah. Always available though.
Yeah. So it's kind of, that's been a nice, I think we've all started really small and kind of grown with the brand, which I think has been really imperative to how we gel really well as a team, because we've literally grown our time in the brand together, which I think has been really nice. And that's obviously not going to always be the case with everybody.
But that's been quite key, because Holly wouldn't have been able to employ us at the beginning full time. Like if we were like, oh, we can only work, we have to have a full-time job, which obviously a lot of people do. Yeah. But we had that flexibility at the beginning that I had other clients.
I was still working with the property developer, so I could like split my time and then. But I remember being really. That was like I'd been self-employed at that point for like 5 or 6 years, maybe, or maybe longer. Yeah, it must have been way longer than that. And I remember I'd only ever worked for kind of. I'd been quite fortunate that everybody I'd worked for, they kind of needed me like at a kind of semi full-time capacity. And I remember being like, oh God, that was the first time I'd had multiple, I was working for multiple people. And I remember being quite nervous, but worked out actually really well. Yeah. In the end. Yeah. God, I actually couldn't imagine juggling. How many clients do you juggle?
I don't even
I know it's not all in the same capacity as Slow Love, but like even having to like switch your brain from person to person is quite tricky.
I probably have 5 that I manage solely myself, but then there's also ones that Ben manages with the ads, which I am slightly involved with, or even just like things like remembering to invoice them, like stuff quite like important.
That. Do you and Ben find that now he's working for your business and he's running the ad side of the business? Do you always talk shop, or are you guys quite good at being like, oh, let's just put work to bed for the night? Or is it like, do you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a bit of both, I'd say. Like there's times where we will just switch off completely, but equally we both love it so much that we do like, there is the odd occasion we've been on a date night and we just start talking about work because we're so excited about something that might be happening or something like that. But equally we are good at shutting it off. So a bit of both. I think I'm never like, oh God, I need to stop talking about work because this is too much, because we both do talk about it as much as each other. But also there's times where we are sat on the sofa and I'm completely like gone, but he's watching football and I'm just staring at the screen. Yeah. So yeah, I think a bit of both, but I think we have a nice balance. But I think it would be harder if he wasn't involved, because he wouldn't understand how much, like the times I'm like, I need to work tonight, I can't speak to you basically, or I can't sit and watch TV with you or go out on a walk or whatever because I have to do this work. He's very flexible and he knows that I need to do that, so that's quite helpful. and the same with me with him. But no, I think it works. It works well for us, but I think some people it might not.
Yeah.
I think it's made our relationship better.
Aww.
Which is really sad.
That's not sad.
But it's because we want the same thing.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it
James
works.
and I used to work together. So in multiple, so I worked with him when he owned the pub.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I left the pub, went on and then he ended up working for the same company that I was working for. And I think if you've got and obviously Holly and Charlie do a lot of work together. Mm-hmm. And I think if you are inherently quite a relaxed person, but yeah, I know so many people who are like, I could never work with my partner.
Yeah, so many of our friends would say that to us. They're like, how do you actually do it?
Yeah.
But I quite like it. But we don't argue that much.
Yeah.
So
Ben's in the office with us one day a week now as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
We think he absolutely loves it, but he's probably quite indifferent about it.
No.
Or he pretends that he doesn't.
I think him and Isabel have a very brother-sister relationship, and you nip at each other, but it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves it.
He does love it.
Yeah.
Don't
He's always like wanting to get in on the group chat.
Is he?
Like I'll be like sniggering in the corner, and he'll be like, "What's Isabel and Holly said now?" And then like he'll read it and have a little giggle.
I love it if we invited Ben into the group chat. I reckon he'd last like 5 minutes and he'd be like, I'm out. Yeah. Ben Pring has left the chat.
Yeah. Especially if we start sending stickers of his face.
Oh, I know, poor Ben.
Him. But he loves it.
What would you say your highlights for working for Slow Love are?
Slow Love is like slow love, or slow love as in like a business? Like
both.
Okay. Well,
so from a business perspective,
yeah.
For your business, the highlights are?
I mean, the highlights are that I have like, I wouldn't say like stable, but I do have like a stable income from Slow Love that I know that is pretty much going to be there.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, compared to like some clients can come and go, and you never know if you're going to lose it or not. So like that's great for me with like the 3 days a week thing. And then obviously like it's also really nice to be part of a team.
Yeah.
Because I am part of different teams, but we're really close as friends as well. A little maid of honour over there. One of them. Holly's the other, obviously. But like that kind of thing, like we have such a good friendship as well.
Yeah.
Which I probably wouldn't get from like my other clients because I only see them a few times here and there. And then obviously like working for Slow Love is firstly, I would say, do you know what, this is something really sad, but my like fashion has changed so much from knowing Holly and Isabel. And working with Slow Love, because I remember when I first came, I was like, I would probably never wear that jumper.
I remember when Ben said that as well.
Yeah, Ben said that he'd never wear a jumper, and then I slowly kind of got into it, and now I've got 11 things.
Oh,
we counted up earlier.
We did a TikTok this morning about how much pieces in it, how many pieces from Slow Love we had in the time we had worked here, and it is.
How many was yours?
It was shocking stats.
Yeah.
Watch the TikTok if you want to know.
Yeah. I mean, if I could afford to buy more, I would. If I didn't just buy a house.
Holly's given them to all of us, remember?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
James, if you're listening.
Holly gives them to us.
Holly gives them to us.
Well, why do you have more then?
Huh?
Why do you have more than me then?
Well, you know.
Oh, I wonder why. Yeah, so there's like that, and then also obviously the trips.
Yeah, the travel. That is actually something that probably Holly would say didn't realise it would be on the cards for anybody. But the travel opportunities that we've had have been so amazing. And I genuinely, so I think back of where we've been in the last couple of years, I'm like, is this real?
Yeah, that's what
it is a proper like. I feel like I've always wanted to go to New York, and I remember being in New York, and I actually still get that like. It's like a feeling in my tummy. I'm like, I cannot believe we were able to do that with Slow Love. Like it was just amazing. A proper pinch me moment.
Yeah, definitely. I know, I agree. That was like one of my my like goals for when I had been like doing social media was
do you remember
to like
your
go
brother
away.
sent you the cutest message when you were in New York when he
yeah.
was like, I'm so proud of where you are, like look
Yeah.
at you now,
I know.
you're with a brand in New York
I know.
doing what, and you were like, that's the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah, that was really cute. But
yeah, the travel opportunities have been
amazing. Yeah.
I do feel very grateful,
especially
that
as
we've been able
like
to do that.
we're not like photographers, like
Yeah.
we're not models,
but then
they're
that's
the people
such a telling trait of running a, like from Holly's perspective, like running an emerging brand,
Mhm.
but also working like we're
photographers, models, content creators,
we're all of those things.
We're all of those things.
But again, I never
But, like,
thought I would be traveling
doing
as much
the
as we have.
accounting.
Yeah.
Like coming on when you first came to Slow Love, you never thought you'd go to New York.
Yeah.
Because you're the account person for Slow Love. Like, but you've obviously turned into a content creator as well. So
look at that.
Look at you.
All those haircuts paid off.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, things like that is amazing. The stuff we've done.
Yeah.
Like, and the fun we have, even though it's work, I do feel very grateful to be the age I am and to really enjoy my job.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually at a wedding, my best friend's wedding at the weekend, and it was over the bank holiday weekend, and that feeling of like, oh God, like so many people were like, oh God, like bank holiday, wedding, like dreaded work on Tuesday, and I was like, I can't remember the last time I ever had that feeling of like not wanting to go. I was off sick a couple of weeks ago, and I was like so desperate to go back to work.
I remember, so Holly and Isabel were off for a week, both ill, and I was like,
which has never happened.
No, and I was like, where are my friends? And like, I remember I had to do content because I was like, no one else is here to do it, so I'm just gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
And then I remember texting you guys like the day before we were due to come in, like after this whole week off and be together again, and we were like, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow and see you.
I know. Oh, aren't we sickening?
Yeah, disgusting.
So on my list of highlights, I've got travel, and I've already spoken about that. Some of my highlights are like actually solving a problem is a really fun thing, and it feels like it's quite exciting. Sometimes the problems are savage and it's like not nice, but actually I feel like that is such a great like team. The team grows so much when you're all solving a problem together. So I think weirdly that's a highlight for me. The design involvement I love. I know, again, when I started Slow Love, I never thought that would be an opportunity I'd have, but I think Holly is just so amazing. It's very much like sometimes there can be too many cooks, but she's so amazing at getting us involved at like certain times in that design process, which I love. Like inherently, I'm quite a creative person, and that is part of my job, or it's not even necessarily officially part of my role, but it's something that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And when I worked for the property developer, I didn't actually hate my job, but I remember being like, just lacking. I was always hankering for something creative. So I'd always try it in my spare time or my free time. I would be like trying to constantly fill my creative, like the creative side of my brain. But I feel like I tick so many of those boxes at work, which is so nice. I think the community, both like within the team, but also like the Slow Love customers are so, I love the engagement from like in work, but also outside of work. Like quite a lot of the Slow Love community follow my personal Instagram and now like, I love it. I was a bridesmaid at the weekend and I had so many messages from the Slow Love team. And like when I ran the marathon, so many donations and lush messages from Slow Love customers. And when we do all the in real life events, like the Hoxton event, I absolutely love it. And it makes me like, sounds so corny, but like being a woman is so cool.
Yeah,
I love it
event,
so much.
It was amazing. Like I remember people coming up to us and they were coming up to me. They're like, "Oh, Abby, like so nice to meet you," and so many things like that. And I was like, I didn't even realise that, because I don't feature quite as much as like you or Holly on the socials. I was like, I didn't even realise people knew who I was.
Yeah.
So I was like,
really
that's
nice.
just bonkers. And they were so lovely. And like, remember somebody was like, oh, I want to see, like they were looking for Isabel because they wanted to see how you styled, like you to show them how
the
to
bandana. Yeah.
And like things like that. It was amazing. It was.
I also think it's fortunate that Holly as a founder she's not like, this is, you know, my brand and I'm the face and it's all about, you know, she so loves, you can tell, you know, she so loves sharing all of that with her team. And I think that is probably one of her most successful traits, I think, is that she is just inherently like that. She loves, you know, she loves that we're all involved.
As much as we are, we're not we don't just work for her, we're like part of it.
We're part of the Slow Love thing. And I think that is one of the key reasons why it all works so well.
Like even just seeing like the growth and stuff, we love looking at the numbers and really getting involved with all of that side of things. We love it.
I could never go back to working in a corporate environment. I've done it on both sides and now, and there is no way I could go back to working in a really rigid corporate environment. I'd hate it. I'd probably get fired within the first week anyway. But
I actually never have.
Haven't you?
No, and I don't think I ever want to either.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be my
not
thing.
for you.
No, I'm glad I never have.
Would you rather? So, because we know what's coming in the autumn winter Slow Love drop, would you rather not be able to buy anything from the Slow Love autumn winter drop, but you're able to shop everywhere else?
Anything else?
Anything else?
As
No,
in
not in Slow Love.
Not
so
Slow
like you're not allowed to buy anything from the new autumn winter range.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to buy other stuff from Slow Love, but not autumn winter range. But you're allowed to shop anywhere else, or you're not allowed to shop anywhere, but it means you're allowed to buy something from the autumn winter range.
How long is this for? Is this just for when autumn winter drops?
No, because like, as in you would never be able to ever buy anything from the autumn winter range from Slow Love.
And then never be able to buy anything else ever again?
No, just until autumn winter's all sold out.
Okay.
So this autumn winter period.
Yeah, got you. I would have to buy Slow Love.
Yeah, me too.
Because realistically, I've got enough jeans or whatever to last me. Even though I want more. And more clothes to like style it with.
There's 2 things in the autumn winter range that I absolutely are non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
Because I would literally rip them off someone's back if I didn't get one.
Yeah. I think there's
Which
more
is
than 2.
Such a savage thing to say.
There's more than 2 for me.
I mean, there is more than 2 things that I love, but there's 2 that I like and absolutely they're going to be mine.
Yeah. God, my poor bank.
I know.
Oh.
So one of the lowlights of working for Slow Love is there's a constant desire for amazing knitwear.
Yeah. Like, I actually don't even own this. This is from Holly's box, so I just thought I'd put it on because mine had a bit of toothpaste.
Yeah, Abby looked like I thought it was food, to be fair. When he came in this morning, I was like, oh, she's dribbled her food down her front.
I think it was a bit of toothpaste.
Yeah, which isn't, that's not the best visual, is it, for a pod?
No, so, but I do really want this.
The colour, you look so nice, because you've got like the luscious chocolatey brown eyes.
Oh, thanks, babe.
That olive colour looks so good.
It's so nice for this time of year as well, like autumn.
God, I'm actually really pumped for autumn.
Oh my God.
I feel like excited. We've been so lucky, actually. It feels like we've had a proper summer.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's been we've had consistently nice weather.
From like May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so pumped for autumn now.
I'm so ready to get like my knits out and like I'm fed up.
I actually love mid-season dressing.
I don't like when this last week has been like,
yesterday
do I wear trousers or do
hot.
I wear shorts? I hate that. I hate like being hot or cold and not knowing.
I love like a consistent weather.
Yeah.
Like it's 18 degrees, I think, for the next like week. Yeah. That's nice.
Like I like it when you can wear a jumper but no coat,
Yeah.
and like be perfect temperature.
Although
Not too hot.
I am really excited for coat weather because I bought a couple of nice coats on Vinted, but I'm quite excited to wear those.
Yeah, I don't mind coat weather. I just, sometimes it's like,
I do know what you mean though.
it's annoying that I'm covering up my outfit with a coat,
Yeah.
and that it's that cold that it's like cold and I'm still cold even though I've got a coat on.
Yeah.
Not when I wear a wool jumper though.
Yeah.
But my wool jumpers don't fit under my coats.
Need to get a good oversized coat.
Actually, I think they do fit over the one Holly gave me. That's another bonus of working at Slow Love. Holly's given me so many clothes. And shoes.
And shoes, yeah.
She just kitted out my wardrobe, basically.
I don't fit in any of
These
Holly's
trousers
stuff,
Holly gave me.
Sweet. Look at that. All-rounder. What an all-rounder.
Yeah. What a great woman.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.
Bye.